Hello, friends. Today I want to talk to you about training mindset. What is your brain doing when you're in the gym? What words are you repeating to yourself? What sentences, phrases are you repeating to yourself? What thoughts are you having about the work in front of you? Are you someone who thinks, oh, fuck, it's leg day, I'm so scared, bro. I'm supposed to hit a new rep PR today. Or are you someone who thinks, okay, I feel nervous, but I'm ready to use this nervousness to fuel my training today. Okay, I feel nervous, but this nervousness is a sign that I care about this and that I'm gonna give this my all. Because for a long time, I was the former, okay? And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm very heady. A lot of the stuff that I talk about has a lot to do with mindset and how your mindset is everything when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to your body image. So you think that I would have figured it out sooner, that your mindset also is everything when it comes to the work that you're doing in the gym and building muscle, okay? Now, before I accepted that cultivating and harnessing my mindset was something that I needed to deliberately work on and practice, I had been getting little tickles from the universe, if you will. Because I've heard a lot of things that kind of reaffirm what I now know to be true. That mindset is going to be really important. How you think about your session is really going to dictate how strong you are. There's this one woman that I've followed for the past, I think probably 5 years now. Her name is Sedona. I talk about her all the time. I'll link her because I think she's a great resource for anyone. She used to be super in the fitness space, but now she's more in the holistic healing space. Check her out. But she's talked about before how there are studies that have been done that show that when you think positive thoughts, you can lift more weight than if you think negative thoughts. Now, here's the tea. I haven't read these papers for myself. I don't know how these experiments, this research was conducted, and I don't know how it's been replicated, okay? So take that with a grain of salt, but I think there's a lot of truth there. I mean, there's a reason why placebo is something that comes up so much in scientific research, right? Because what we believe is often what is true. What we believe to be true is how we perceive the world, and our subconscious mind kind of reaffirms what we believe. These are things that we've all heard before. So there was that. And then also, when I started dating my boyfriend 3 years ago, he kind of was noticing my behavior in the gym, and he was noticing how I went into the gym and I had a more haphazard way of doing stuff. If I didn't feel like doing a third set, I wouldn't do a third set. I was on my phone a lot in between sets. I would rest for 2 to 3 minutes between every set as if I'm a power lifter, performing the big three. No, bitch, I was trying to lift like a bodybuilder, resting 2 to 3 minutes between sets, which I think there is a time and a place for that even in bodybuilding, but you get the gist. I just wasn't locked in. And so he kind of started bringing it to my attention. He was some things that he would say to me was, he would be like, before you start a set, you look in the mirror and you look yourself in the eyes and you kind of repeat in your head the intention for the set, okay, let's get to work, I got this, or let's fucking go, or lightweight baby. He was get tight, focus, why are your eyes darting around when you're doing a set? What could possibly be more important than lifting this very heavy weight in front of you? What could you be focusing on right now? That's dangerous, bro. You're lifting heavy weight and your mind is wandering. No, you gotta be here, you gotta be present. And then, so there's another area in my life where it started becoming clear to me that I hadn't yet harnessed the power of my mind. And then also just with everything that's happening with social media and the current culture that we live in, we're squirrely. We are constantly thinking about the future or the past. It's hard for us to be in the moment. It was hard for me to even be in the moments in my training sessions, It's also a big part of any Eastern philosophy. I think it's also big in theocratic religions too, in the Bible and stuff. When you're praying to your God, you're supposed to meditate on it. It's supposed to be a moment between you and your God, or if you're someone who practices philosophy, we've heard over and over again about the power of mindfulness and the power of meditation. I feel there's so much research now that reinforces the power of mindfulness and the power of meditation. And so I was okay, maybe there's something there. And so recently, maybe in the past year or so, I feel I've made the most gains I've ever made. And I feel like I have to attribute a majority of that to the mindset that I've been working on cultivating over the past 2 years in regards to my training sessions, okay? So very long-winded explanation as to why I started harnessing the power of my mind. Now I want to talk to you about how I do it. What do I do differently? What have I changed about my lifting routine that has helped me lock in, okay? I think the first thing that I did that helped me lock in was probably I started reducing my rest times. That has more to do with the fact that I was just kind of fumbling and bumbling around. And when I saw someone say on the internet that, hey, you probably need longer rests than you think in order for your muscle to like rest long enough so you can make maximal gains, yada, yada, yada. I kind of took that too far to one extreme, and I was like, oh, you want me to take longer rest? 5-minute rest it is, no big, like I kind of took it way too far to an extreme. And so I started dabbling a little with 1 minute long rests. And what I found was I was still able to progress with minute long rests, and my workout was way quicker. And when your workout is way quicker and your rests are way shorter, I have less time to dilly-dally on my phone, right? In fact, I started having to time my rests. So shorter rests and timing them, really they worked in function of making my workout shorter so I have less time in the workout itself. So it's like harder for your mind to wander. And then also because the rest is shorter, I can't get on my phone as much. Literally, why is my phone there? Why is my phone even in the frame? An atrocity to the topics at hand here. I can't even hide it. Oh my God. Okay, so I did that. Because I started timing my rest, I stopped dilly-dallying on my phone. I saw, my boyfriend shared it with me actually. I saw, what's that one guy? C-Bum's coach, Haney Rambod. He posted like a video training with C-Bum. I don't know if C-Bum posted it or he posted it. But in the video, he tells C-Bum to put his phone away. Or he tells the athlete, or I don't even know if it was C-Bum. It might have been a different athlete. Whoever, he was training his athlete. And he told his athlete, like, dude, put your phone away. We come in here to work. How can you do yourself the disservice of allowing a notification to come in and distract you from this time that you devoted to yourself and to your craft? And that, like, when I think about it that way, like, what a disservice I'm doing to myself. How disrespectful that is to myself to allow outside distractions and outside noise to come into my training session. Like, that really did it for me. So I started getting off my phone. And on that note, I use my Apple Watch and I put it in fitness mode whenever I'm strength training. And I set it so that notifications do not come through while I'm training. So if you're trying to reach me while I'm training, bitch, you're not going to reach me until that hour is up. Thank you very much. And I started noticing that when you're not on your phone and when your rests are shorter, you have no choice but kind of to pay attention to the work at hand. And I noticed that I feel like I started having better workouts. Like at one point, my boyfriend was like, why do I feel like every time I talk to you, you had a shit workout? Like, why does it feel like you have more shit workouts than you have good workouts? And then I was like, fuck off, shut up. But he had a point, And then another thing that I've been doing is training affirmations. Or like, if you Google training mindset on YouTube, so many like 30-minute long, hour-long videos of like David Goggins or like Sam Solik speaking words of affirmations over some like really dramatic music, like Star Wars music or like Pirates of the Caribbean music. It's like super intense. There's so many videos, like clearly there's a market for this. And then I was like, damn, like dudes, guys, like gym bros, they've been listening to these training affirmations for a while because there wouldn't be so many like motivational speeches like this. I'm literally looking at it right now. If there wasn't something there, and Kenzie Vance talked about that, how when she was like deep in her prep, at one point, bro, the only thing getting her through her cardio and getting her through her sessions was hearing David Goggins in her ear. So I was like, let me just give it a try. So I started listening to training affirmations instead of listening to music during my workouts. And I felt like that really helped me get in the zone. Another thing that really helped me is I got a coach, okay? And I have to send him form checks. And he also cut my training volume like probably to like 1/3 of what I was doing before. And at first that really pissed me off. But then what I learned is that the reason why I was doing so much, why I needed to do so much volume to like get a pump or feel like I had done work is probably because I wasn't 100% locked into the work that I was doing. And with my coach, I have to send him form checks. So he very quickly was like, girl, why is your tempo all over the place? Why are you rushing the set? Why do you start to speed through your reps at the end? So he started showing me like the importance of keeping every rep identical, standardizing your form, standardizing your execution. And that has also changed a lot for me because in my head, I'm like, okay, before I was doing like 4 or 5 sets of any exercise. Now he has me doing like 1 to 3 sets per exercise. And because I have less sets to do, in my mind, I'm like, bro, I better put my entire Badussi into these sets. I better not waste a single set, right? Because I only have so many sets to work with. So that has helped me a lot. So yeah, I used to go into my workouts just kind of like la-di-da-di-da, like recording myself, posting myself, 2, 3, 5-minute rest between sets, like giggling, like not focusing on the task at hand. And I feel like I wasn't, like I said, treating my workouts with the respect that I owe to myself, you know? And I don't know, I feel like where your mind goes, your intention goes. And my mind was not right. So now when I go into my workouts, I listen to a training affirmation on the way to the gym and I kind of start preparing myself mentally. Like I start telling myself like, okay, time to lock in. This is my time. Let's go. Let's milk the session for everything it is. Focus. Like I owe it to myself. And repeating those positive affirmations to myself to set myself up for the gym, it's done wonders. And the last thing I'll say before I go, I also used to be someone that would kind of let like anything impact how I felt about my workout on any given day. So for example, if I'm like beefing with my family, I'll like be like, oh, I can't focus because this is on my mind. And I had to have a moment with myself and be like, who am I if I let others dictate the work that I'm doing for myself? Like that's fucked up. That's so weird. Like, why would I do that to myself? Why would I let outside influences mess me up like that? That kind of pissed me off. And so I remember the other week, family drama, whatever, and I remember I usually I would just like walk into the gym, whatever, do the work. But this time I was like, no, I'm not going to walk into that gym until I get my mind right. And I gave myself like the gift of doing that, and I ended up sitting in the car for like 30 to 45 minutes. Literally just trying to get my mind right, journaling if I had to, like texting my boyfriend if I had to get what I needed to get off my chest and like, you know, recenter myself. And I ended up having a great lift. And I was like, wow, so I don't need to let outside influences get in the way of me time. Like this is me time. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. If you're someone who's never really given much thought to your training mindset, this is your sign. Because I'm someone who always gave a lot of thought to my body image mindset, my relationship to food mindset, you know, my belief in myself mindset. But I don't know what took me so long to put that same energy into my training. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please let me know by liking, commenting, adding to the conversation, sharing with a friend, subscribing, and other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!